today we're going to take a look at how to figure out which triad chords are in each key. So each key has a specific set of triad chords. What's a triad chord? A triad chord are the basic major and minor chords that we play. C major is one, A minor is another one, E minor, D minor. Those are all basic triad chords, and it becomes important to figure out which keys have which chords in them. Okay, this is going to help you write songs. It's going to help you figure out songs that you're trying to learn on your own. It's going to help you with arpeggios. It's going to help you pretty much in every part of your guitar playing. Okay, so let's get down to the system I'm going to show you to figure this out. So the first thing we want to use is we want to use the major scale. So if you don't know the major scale, it'd be a good idea to go and learn it right now. I'm not going to show you how to play it in this video. So the C major scale is what we're going to start off with. C major is the only natural key. Okay, each key has 7 notes. Each major key has 7 notes in it. We're going to be able to build one triad chord per note in the key. So that's going to give us 7 different triad chords. Okay, so if we take a look at the C major scale, we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then if we arrive on C again, but B would be our last triad chord. So we could build a chord from C, from D, from E, from F, from G, from A, and from B. The question is, what chords do we build? Is it a major or minor chord or a diminished chord? Because we do end up with a diminished chord. So we have 3 choices, but which one does it end up being? Well, there's a very specific order that it always happens in. The order is major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. So what does that mean? That means that the C note ends up being a major chord, C major. The D note turns into a minor chord, D minor. The E note turns into another minor chord, being E minor. The F note turns into a major chord, being F major. The G note turns into another major chord, being G major. The A turns into a minor chord, being A minor. The final one, B, is a diminished chord, and that turns into what we call a no B diminished. And then the last note again is just arriving on C. So we can do this for any key we want. If we look at the key of G, well, the notes for the key of G, they are G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. Well, we follow the same order. What's the order? It's major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. Always in that order for all 12 major keys, you will arrive at the proper triad chords. So we get a G note, gives us G major, A note, A minor, a B note, B minor, a C note, C major, a D note, D major, okay, an E note, E minor, F sharp, diminished, and we're back on G again. So let's take a look at a flat key, because I was showing you keys from the sharp side of the circle of fifths. Let's take a look at B flat, for example. So here are the notes in the key of B flat. So B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A. Well, B flat's going to turn into B flat major. C is going to turn into C minor. D turns into D minor. E flat turns into E flat major. F turns into F major. G turns into G minor. A turns into our A diminished. And then we're back again. So now you know how to figure out all of 12 major keys. So the order again is major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished, always in that order. Now, how does this work for minor keys? Well, you have to understand how the minor keys work with the major keys. The minor keys actually are the same as the major keys. So for example, if we go back to the key of C, C major and A minor, they are relative to one another. What that means is that they use the exact same 7 notes, okay? The only difference between the two is that the tonic would change. We would have a C note as our tonic for C major and an A note for our tonic for the A minor scale. So they have the same notes, which means they have exactly the same triads, okay? So I'll recap the C major triads again. It's C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, C. So for the minor keys, what we do is we just start on the minor chord. Now we have multiple minor chords in the key of C, but we have to start on a very specific one. Has to be the 6th chord. So if we were counting from C or from a C note, it would be the 6th note or 6th chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gives us A, and we call that the relative minor. That's how we arrive at an A minor scale. We actually rearrange the notes of C major so that it starts on A and ends on A, and then we end up with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Well, the same thing is going to happen for the chords. So the key of A minor triads are exactly the same as C major. What we do is we just organize A minor to be the 1st chord. So that gives us this: A minor, B diminished, C, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor. So every key, if you look on the circle of fifths, has a relative minor. So there's 12 major keys. Each one of those is going to have a relative minor. There's a few ways to find them. There's a different video I'll do on relative minor, but right now you can find each relative minor by finding the 6th note of the major key. Okay, so if we were to look at the G major scale, we find the 6th note in that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an E. That means E minor is the relative minor, and that's how we would derive the triads in the minors, the key of E minor. Okay, so going forward, it's a good idea to put this into practice. Memorize the orders: major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, diminished. I call this the order of triads. Is there an official name for it? Maybe there is. I haven't seen it across any of my books, but this is very, very useful information, and it's going to help you learn how to write songs better. It's going to help you learn how to figure out songs better, because you're going to know what chords work together.